Just get a free Google Ads certification, get some clients, and then watch the money roll into your bank account. If only it was that easy. I've been managing Google Ads accounts since 2010, and then since 2016, I've been a successful freelancer where I manage other people's Google Ads accounts. So I've been around long enough to hear all the different get-rich-quick strategies or the super proven results that will guarantee you more clients. And now, while I'm living proof that you can actually earn a really good living off being a Google Ads freelancer, I do need to stress that it actually does take time and it does take some effort. And while I'm living proof that the dream of being able to earn a six-figure income where you have a really good work-life balance through managing Google Ads is really achievable, I do want to give a bit of a reality check. And one of the favorite quotes that I like to focus on is that people will overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year, and yet they will underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. And as I look back over the last 10 years of working for myself, I can see that this is true. In that when I first started this journey, I was hoping just to create enough income for one business so that I could have a good work-life balance for my family. But what I've found over the last 10 years is that I've created not one, but 3 different profitable businesses that have allowed me to actually have a really good work-life balance. So if that is your goal, the dream that you're wanting to achieve, in that you want to be able to have a really good work-life balance managing Google Ads accounts, I want to give you my top 3 strategies for how you can attract new clients for Google Ads management. And then further than that, if you actually stick around to the end of this video, I would actually give you the strategy that I would use if I was going to start getting my first Google Ads clients today. And I want to share this strategy with you so that you don't make some of the same mistakes that I made when I was first starting out on this journey of becoming a Google Ads freelancer. And just in case we haven't met yet, my name is Aaron Young and I'm your 15,000 hour Google Ads master. Now, if you are really serious about learning how to become a Google Ads freelancer or learning how to use Google Ads to grow your own business, I want to invite you to register for my 10X Google Ads community. Now, this is a community where I share advanced monthly teachings every single month, and then I also run group coaching calls and Q&A sessions. And then on top of that, you're actually part of a private community where you've got like-minded people from all over the world where you can actually share some different strategies that are working for you or actually problem solve together how you can actually overcome some of those challenges that you might be facing with Google Ads. And if that is something you'd be interested in, I would love to have you part of my Google Ads community. And all you need to do to register your interest is to follow the link in the description below. So with all that said, let's get into today's teaching. Now, over the years, I've got my clients through 3 main areas. And the first strategy that I want to discuss is direct marketing. And this includes everything from cold calling through to emailing through video reviews, through attending local business network groups in your area, through to your own online marketing, through referrals or ads in local papers. So direct marketing is any avenue that you're using to actually initiate a conversation with a potential client who didn't know of you before or potentially wasn't even thinking about using Google Ads. And then the second avenue that I found great success with getting new clients for Google Ads is going through and using freelancer sites. Now, personally, I found the most success with using Upwork, but you could also use other sites like Fiverr or freelancer.com. And then the third way that I've had great success in picking up new clients is actually white labeling or consulting to other digital agencies. And this is where I entered into a partnership with a digital agency to actually manage their Google Ads clients on their behalf. So all of my reporting and all of my communication would actually run underneath the digital agency's branding, not my own. So now that you know the 3 core ways that I've picked up my new clients for Google Ads management, I want to now quickly take you through the pros and cons of each of these ways. So let's firstly talk about the pros and cons of direct marketing. Now, firstly, the things that I like about direct marketing is that you actually have more options to sell your unique benefits. And what I mean by this is that once you've actually got through that initial conversation with them, you will get a chance to actually present a full presentation to them and really sell the reasons for why they should be using you. And then with this, I've actually been able to dedicate 2 to 3 different pages of my presentation, which really goes through not only my experience, but real life examples of the type of results that I've got for other clients. And then also in other cases where I've actually worked in that particular field, I can actually detail some specific results that I've got out of Google Ads for that client's actual business. And this is a really powerful way of being able to market the benefit of you and also Google Ads. And the second thing that I do like about direct marketing is that you do actually have a lot more control over your pricing. And the reason for that is that it actually does come back to this first point, in that with direct marketing, I find it the easiest avenue for you to be able to really sell your benefits and sell the reason for why they should be paying you X amount. Now, some of the cons with direct marketing is that it is actually time consuming. And this is something that needs to be done, a couple of days a week. It can't be something that you just do for a week and then you forget about it. Is that with direct marketing, you need to have a strategy in place that actually goes through for the long term. And the reason for that is because it is actually a numbers game. With direct marketing, I find the results that I get when I actually do get a new client from direct marketing, it is generally from a strategy that I've put in place weeks and months earlier. So don't think with direct marketing that you're going to be signing up a new client next week. Sometimes that does happen, but I do want to warn you that it is actually time consuming and it is a numbers game. Now, secondly, when we look at freelancer sites, so there's sites like Upwork or Fiverr or freelancer.com. Now, the advantages of this is that you can easily find potential clients that are looking for Google Ads experts right now. As we said with that first example, one of the hurdles that you can actually have with direct marketing is that you're actually marketing to people who potentially don't even know about Google Ads or have a bad experience with Google Ads or don't even think that they can use Google Ads for their business. Whereas when you actually go with these freelancer sites, you can actually filter down the searches so that you're only looking for jobs for people who are specifically looking for people who can manage their Google Ads campaigns. The other thing I like about this is that you can send as many applications as you like, and it's actually a low cost. A lot of these are actually free, or you do have some sites like Upwork that do give you a certain amount for free, and then you can pay a small membership so that you can apply for more jobs. But regardless of which way you go about it, it is definitely a lot cheaper than direct marketing. However, some of the negatives with freelancer sites is that it is really, really hard to break through the noise. And the reason for that is because anyone can actually go on and create a profile. You have to actually work really, really hard to distinguish yourself as a point of difference to the countless hundreds or thousands of other freelancers who are offering Google Ads services. And especially for something like Google Ads, you could actually have multiple hundreds or thousands of people apply for the same job or the same role within a 24-hour period. And then that leads us to the next big issue with freelancer sites is that it can actually be a fight to the bottom when it comes to price. In that the way a lot of people try to get ahead with freelancer sites is that they just keep lowering and lowering their price or their hourly asking rate so that they can actually get a contract. And then finally, I want to talk about white labeling to digital agencies. And the reason for why I really, really do like this is that you can actually have one or two core relationships that can earn you over $1,000 a year. And the reason why I know that is because I've actually done that year after year after year. The other good thing that I like about this is that it actually takes away the need for you to feel like you have to always be looking and getting new clients. Because if you have some really good relationships with good digital agencies, every time they sign a new client, it means that you get a new client. And the final thing is it actually gives you the potential to work on some really large accounts that actually help to build your authority. So especially if you're only a couple of years into Google Ads, you may not have that experience to be able to snag or win a really high-paying, high-profile multinational client in that first couple of years. But if you actually partner up with a digital agency, you can then actually have the option and the opportunity to work on some of those really high level accounts. However, some of the negatives working with a digital agency is that you can actually be required for meetings, or agencies may actually say that you have to be available for certain hours of the day. Now, depending on where the agency is based versus where you're based, this may mean that you might have to be available at night or in the early hours of the morning. And then finally, it is actually time consuming when you do work with a digital agency because different agencies have different reporting and policy requirements. And I've worked with multiple different digital agencies. Some of them have a really high level of reporting and policy requirements. Some of them aren't as high, but in all cases, I've actually found you've got a lot more reporting and policy requirements when you're working with a digital agency as opposed to when you've actually got a direct client. Now, as promised, what I want to do right now is actually take you through the process and the strategies that I would use if I was starting out in trying to get some new clients for Google Ads right now as my first day as a Google Ads freelancer. And the first strategy and the highest priority strategy that I would focus on is to actually be able to consult or white label with other digital agencies. And the reason for why this is the highest priority is that it's actually the quickest way that you can actually earn a good, stable monthly income if you're wanting to become a Google Ads freelancer. And the reason for why this can be a really quick and successful pathway for you is because what will generally happen is that when you actually come on board with a new digital agency, is that they'll give you 1 or 2 accounts as little test accounts. Now, these will generally be for some of their smaller clients. And if you can actually prove your success, so you can actually get some really quick results for that account that they've given you, and they actually see that they can trust you, and that they then know that when they give you your account is that you will actually increase the performance of that account, you'll find very, very quickly that you will very soon be actually turning away new clients from that agency. And I've had relationships with agencies where after the first 3 to 6 months, I've actually had to stop the amount of clients that they're giving me. Now, that was obviously based on the results that I was getting for their clients, but I hope you can see that there is a really big upside in this strategy, in that as soon as you actually get into a digital agency and you're actually freelancing or consulting with them, once you actually prove your worth, they'll be giving you more and more work, and they'll give you probably more work than you can actually handle. And even if you feel like the hourly rate that you get from the digital agency is a little bit less than what you could do with a direct client, the reason why I would still recommend for you to go down this avenue is because it'll give you the opportunity to actually work on some larger clients, especially if you're targeting digital agencies where you know they've got some brands and some multinational clients that you would like to work with. Now, there is a little bit of a saying amongst large companies in that no one ever got fired for assigning IBM to a contract. And what they mean by that is that even though a company may know that they're going to be getting better service and potentially better results with going with a smaller agency or even a freelancer, the person that actually makes that decision puts a lot of risk on their own job. And the reason for that is because if you were to underperform and didn't get the results that you had promised, that person could potentially actually lose their job. Whereas if the same thing happened because they assigned IBM or a large company, and I do know that IBM doesn't actually do Google Ads, I'm just using this as an example, is that that person wouldn't actually be as judged for that decision. And the reason for that is because IBM would have a wealth of history and a wealth of getting clients really, really good results. So if you are a small agency, or if you are a freelancer, partnering up with a larger digital agency or even consulting and white labeling to a digital agency allows you to actually build out your resume with some high level clients, which you can then use to actually go out and try and get some of your clients of your own. And then after I had actually set up a relationship with 1 or 2 digital agencies, while I was keeping that relationship going, and you may even tailor it down to you only working for them for maybe 2 or 3 days a week, I would then start using some of those freelancer sites like Upwork to actually get some direct clients. And the reason for why I do it at this time is that then I've actually built out my resume a little bit further, and I can actually give some real life examples of the type of results that I've got for certain accounts. And then the other reason for why I add this in at step 2 is that it allows me to actually charge a little bit more because my resume has some greater experience. But what we really want to achieve when we're going down this avenue is it's going to allow you to really upskill in how you can actually sell yourself. So this way you can actually really quickly test and try different proposals. You can also test and try different ways of writing cover letters or trying to get people's attention. And at least when you're focusing on freelancer sites, you know that you're dealing with clients who are specifically looking for Google Ads at that time. So in this stage, when we're looking at using freelancer sites to get new clients, we're not only wanting to continue to build our skill set around Google Ads, but you're actually wanting to build your skill set around selling yourself. Being confident to actually ask for higher rates, finding out which types of cover letters work, finding out which proposals work, all of those things which are going to be essential skills for you to then move on to the 3rd stage, which is what I want to talk about now. And that is that after you've got some successful relationships with 1 or 2 digital agencies, and then you've also been able to pick up some clients on freelancer sites, I would then also include a direct marketing strategy. And the reason for why I've actually put this last is because those first 2 stages actually allow you to build out the required skills that you need. Firstly, when you're working with digital agencies, you're going to be heavily focusing on increasing your skill as a Google Ads freelancer. You're also going to be getting the taste and the experience on how different strategies work for large accounts and how different strategies work for smaller accounts. And then when you move to the 2nd stage where you're focusing on freelancer sites, you're actually learning how to sell yourself, learning how to set your rates and learning how to close deals. So that when you move to the 3rd stage of direct marketing, you're going to be much better equipped because you know the things which get you clients, and you've also got the confidence that you've got the skills to be a successful Google Ads freelancer. Because there'd be nothing worse than doing all that effort to score a new client only to lose them just as quick as you've gained them because you just made some silly mistakes on the campaign management. So there you have it. There are my 3 steps if I was starting out in becoming a Google Ads freelancer today. But remember, as I said, the most important step in becoming a Google Ads freelancer, where you're earning that 6-figure income each and every year, is that you firstly need to invest in yourself. And this is why I want you to actually go through and follow the link in the description so that you can register for my 10X Google Ads community. Remember, that's the place where I run advanced monthly teachings, group coaching and Q&A calls, and also where you can join a community of like-minded people who are all focusing on how they can become the highest skilled Google Ads professionals that they can be. Once again, thank you for joining me. My name is Aaron Young and I'm your 15,000 hour Google Ads master. And if you want to stay up to date with what is working in Google Ads right now, why don't you go through and give me a quick subscribe? And also, if you want to see the top 5 strategies that I use to optimize my accounts, I want you to go through and watch this video right here. Thank you again. See ya.